Good morning, everyone. Today, my group members Palak, Ekamdeep, Rajveer, Shahid, and myself, we will be presenting our critical review for the Accounting 621 course. Our presentation is based on the article The Internet Banking Fraud Awareness in Combating Phishing, the case study of the South African banking industry by Donald Nkosinathi, Mbunani, and Mukopane Charles. Let us first understand the meaning of phishing. It is a type of online fraud where criminals pretend that they are a trusted organizations and they try to trick the people into their scam, and they try to get the passwords, bank account details, and OTPs of the people. This article mainly focuses on how phishing attacks are becoming a major issue in today's world, and although the banks are regularly trying to educate the customers about the fraud, many customers still are becoming the victim of this scam. The article argues that awareness alone is not important. Uh, Also, the internet banking fraud and stronger internal controls are also necessary. Our review examines that issue from an accounting, internal control, and auditing perspective. Let us move on to the agenda. Before we begin, uh, next slide, please. Okay, so first we will discuss the critical issues identified in this article. Then, second, we will analyze those issues by using the COSO fraud risk management framework. Finally, we will present the practical recommendations that banks can implement to improve the fraud prevention and reduce the phishing attacks. Overall, our presentation moves from identifying the problem to analyzing the problem and then giving the suggestions. Next slide, please. So, let's take a look at the first agenda, which is critical issues identified. The first issue is that phishing should not be viewed only as a customer problem. It is also an internal bank's problem. Because if fraudsters are able to steal the money, it means that the bank's system is weak, is on the weaker side. Uh, the second issue is the awareness behavior gap. So even though the customers receive the fraud awareness messages from the bank, many still fall the victim for it because awareness does not only change the behavior. The third issue is the rapid increase in the digital banking fraud. So the recent statistics shows that online banking fraud has increased significantly, which suggests that awareness campaigns are not alone enough to prevent these attacks. Therefore, stronger internal controls, better fraud prevention systems are needed instead of relying on the customer's education. So, from this article, we can say that the customer education is not alone completely reliable. Strong internal controls are also important for it. And I recommend that banks should focus not only on customer awareness, but also they should focus on internal control, and they should use the advanced fraud detecting systems and stronger authentication methods, and they should use the security alerts that can help reduce the phishing attacks and make the online banking system safer for the customers. That's all from my side. Now my friend will continue. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Palak Dakshini and I will start as phishing as a control failure. So if we start like one of the key arguments in our review is that phishing should not be viewed only as customer awareness issue, right? Using the fraud triangle, we see that fraud occurs when there is an opportunity. Banks cannot fully control a fraudster's motivation, but they can reduce the opportunities through stronger controls. Like, for example, requiring additional verification before like large transfers can make fraud much more difficult. Now we will go to next slide. For the next slide, we have awareness does not always change behavior. Research always shows that simply just knowing about phishing does not guarantee that it's your safe behavior. Many customers are aware of online scams but still click suspicious links or share sensitive information. From an auditing perspective, a control is like the only effective it if it actually reduces risk. From therefore, awareness campaigns should be treated as supporting controls rather than primary defense against fraud. Now we will go to next slide. From this recent statistics demonstrates how serious the problem has become. Now, digital fraud incidents increased dramatically in 2024, which financial losses reached nearly 9 billion. Most incidents occurred through banking apps and social engineering attacks. Now, these numbers suggest that fraudsters are increasing, targeting customers through digital channels rather than attacking banking systems directly. Now, that's all from my side. From here, my friend will take over.
Thanks, Palak. Now we will move into the analysis section of our presentation. To better understand the problem, we applied the COSO fraud risk management framework. The framework shows that banks are actually performing well in some areas. They already have fraud policies, anti-phishing software, transaction monitoring system, and other investigation procedures. However, there are two major weaknesses. The first is fraud risk assessment. Uh, Many banks still treat customer as the part of the control system instead of treating them as the part of the threat environment also. So the second weakness is the monitoring. Fraud techniques continue to evolve, but governance and model oversight are often not updated quickly. So the main problem is not a lack of technology. The real gap is in the governance, continuous risk assessment, and monitoring. Next slide, please. Well, another important issues involve the machine learning model used to detect the fraud. Many studies report very high accuracy, usually between 96 to 99%. But high accuracy alone doesn't guarantee the effective protection. These models can suffer from different types of bias. For example, like training data bias means the system may not recognize new frauds. So confirmation bias causes the model to focus mainly on fraud patterns it has already seen. Temporal bias occurs when the model relies on outdated information, while AI intermittently bias happens when people trust the system too much and reduce human oversight. So overall, the banks shouldn't only measure accuracy; they should also regularly test models for bias, update them with the new fraud patterns, and maintain human supervisions. Next slide, please. As I said, technology alone cannot solve phishing because human behavior also plays a major role. Research show that personally trait and the design of phishing messages predict victimization better than general awareness. In other words, like simply educating customer is often not enough. Instead, banks should redesign controls around the moment when risk actually occurs. For example, like they can display warning message when customer adds a new pay, make secure actions easier than risky ones, and customers alerts based on the customer's behavior. Now I will hand over it to my teammate. That's all.
Thank you, Ekam. Now I will discuss about the Personality and message design predict phishing better than experience. Based on our analysis, we developed several practical recommendations to help banks reduce internet banking fraud. Instead of relying mainly on customer awareness, these recommendations focus on strengthening internal controls, improving governance, and using technology more effectively. Next slide, please. In this slide, I will discuss about the strategic recommendation. Our first recommendation is to strengthen the digital authentication by applying the principle of segregation of duty, identity, verification, payment, authorization, and transaction monitoring should operate independently. Banks should also require stronger authentication for new beneficiaries and high-value transactions. Our second recommendation is to improve AI governance by regularly testing fraud detection model, updating them to address new threats and ensuring that high risk cases are reviewed by human experts. Finally, banks should replace general awareness campaigns with targeted warnings that appears when customers are making high risk transactions. These real time alerts are more effective because they influence decisions at the right moment. Next slide, please. Our final recommendation is to implement these improvement in phases. The first one is strengthen digital control and authentication. Second, improve AI governance through better testing and monitoring. Third, prepare for the revised ISA 240 auditing standards by enhancing fraud reporting and governance. Even a 10% improvement in fraud detection could prevent approximately 189 million rand in annual losses. In conclusion, internet banking fraud should be treated as an internal control and governance challenge, not just a customer awareness issue. Thank you. Now I hand over to the Rajvi to present the next slides.
Next one. Now I will discuss our key recommendation. How can we can implement that one. First one is banks should strengthen their digital banking controls. Important functions like identity verification, payment approval, and transaction monitoring should work separately to reduce fraud opportunities. Second one is banks should regularly test their fraud detection systems and make sure there is human oversight. This helps identify new fraud methods and improves the reliability of AI systems. And third one is banks should replace general awareness campaigns with target warnings at the moment of risk. For example, when a customer is sending money to a new beneficiary, the bank can provide an immediate warning before the transaction is completed. By implementing these measures, bank can reduce fraud opportunities and strengthen fraud preventions. And last one is our conclusion. For conclusion, our review found that internet banking fraud is mainly an internal control and governance issue, not just a customer awareness problem. Although awareness campaigns are important, they are not enough on their own because awareness does not always lead to a safe behavior. Banks need controls, better monitoring system, target interventions, and that help customers when they are most vulnerable to phishing attacks. Overall, reducing opportunities for fraud is more effective than simply increasing customer education. That's all from our group. Thank you.
Thank you.